This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Monday, June 17th, 2024. I'm Alex Brown. Elkhart-based manufacturer Lippert has 140 factories around the world and about 14,000 team members worldwide. CEO Jason Lippert says he is focused on overhauling the company's culture with an emphasis on personal and leadership development.
We've got 29 people, and that includes leadership coaches, it includes personal development coaches, it includes community impact teams that handle our philanthropic outreach to our communities, where we set up serving events for our team members. It includes 2 chaplains right now. It includes a leadership academy. So if we're going to make culture better, we have to be able to train people on what that means. We can't just say, hey, go out and be good people, and there's the values, do the best you can. We got to teach them what all that means, what it means to be a team member here and live and thrive in a culture that's going to allow people to have an experience, purpose, and meaning.
He said it is crucial to show employees consistency in executing the company's core values. Mishawaka-based Franciscan Health is investing $185.5 million to expand its hospital in Munster. Our partners at the Times of Northwest Indiana report the health system is building a 5-story addition to the hospital, as well as a 3-story addition to a nearby medical office building. The goal is to turn what is now an acute care facility into a regional medical center for North Lake County. A timeline for completion is not known, and it is also not clear how many jobs will be created. A financial expert with more than a decade of experience in debt management and investment strategies at a pair of Big Ten schools has been named the next Chief Financial Officer of Indiana Wesleyan University in Marion. Jeff Reyes begins his new role July 8th, replacing Nancy Schoonmaker, who stepped down to become CFO of Our Daily Bread Ministries in Grand Rapids, Michigan. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the Engage Indiana series, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. With an unrelenting focus on growing Indiana's economy, we'll dive into each region's unique challenges and distinct opportunities for growth. 9 regions, 1 goal. Indiana's bold future starts here. Discover more and register at ibj.com/engage.
The Indiana University Board of Trustees has approved plans for a $110 million multi-sport arena in downtown Indianapolis as part of an effort to bolster the burgeoning campus's athletic program.
The board voted Friday to approve construction of a 134,500 square foot facility that will be home to the IU Indianapolis men's and women's basketball and women's volleyball programs, as well as university athletic offices. Indianapolis-based USA Track and Field, a national governing body for the sport, will also move its headquarters to the new building. The new arena, known as the IU Indianapolis Athletic Center, is expected to occupy part of a 7-acre green space at the northwest corner of Blackford and Wabash Streets. The arena will have seating for 4,500 spectators, as well as an auxiliary gymnasium, multiple community spaces, and an unspecified amount of support space for the school's athletic programs, including locker rooms, a training room, and weight room. Part of the seating will be retractable, allowing for different configurations by not only IU Indianapolis athletic teams, but high school and recreational users, as well as for sports, including volleyball and wrestling. The building will also feature as much as 16,000 square feet of office space, although details on how that space will be distributed between IU Indianapolis athletic program uses and USA Track and Field has not yet been finalized. A firm timeline for construction has also not been made public, but a school spokesperson said the arena is expected to open in the fall of 2026. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
South Bend-based AM General is showcasing its next-generation Joint Light Tactical Vehicle, or JLTV A2, at the Eurosatory Expo in Paris, France this week. The company last year received an initial $230 million contract from the Department of Defense to produce the JLTVs, a deal that could grow to as much as $8.6 billion over the next decade. CEO Jim Cannon said the expo is the perfect international venue to debut the JLTV and demonstrate the improvements made to it. He said it will also serve as a means to communicate the acquisition process through foreign military sales to potential customers. The company previously announced plans to invest $70 million to expand its production facility in Mishawaka and create more than 300 jobs to support production of the JLTVs. With a reported $27.1 billion in economic development commitments in the first 6 months of 2024, the Indiana Economic Development Corporation says it has already nearly reached the record total for all of last year. Larry Gigrich, Executive Managing Director of Fishers-based site selection firm Genovis, says the state is now competing in the big leagues of investment and jobs.
Indiana has expanded its competitive footprint, so to speak, who it competes head-to-head with. So the Carolinas, places that have been very successful in economic development, Georgia, Texas, Arizona, for the different types of industries competing with those places. But Indiana's stacking up well, and in the Midwest, Indiana and Ohio stand out above everybody else.
Infrastructure and talent are the two items Gigerich said will continue to be the big focus for Indiana through the second half of the year and into 2025. The voice of the IU Hoosiers, Don Fisher, is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.